Good early morning. I don't know where it is, what time it'll be when you're all watching, but for me it's morning. Good morning. Welcome to yet another enthralling video of Entropy TD Starcraft 2's custom map. Goa's gift to the world. A suggestion about the lobbies. The time of day influences which server I play on. So living in the United States, if I get home from work at like 5 Eastern time, or anything before that, I'm going to jump on the EU server. Europe seems to be just more active at that time of the day. If it is, let's say, right about 7 p.m., which I think would be midnight UK time, I would switch over to the North American server. So on the weekends, I don't know, I think early in the morning I'm still going to be in EU on the Europe server, but I'll keep an eye on it, and if it seems a little dead, I'll switch over quickly to the North American server. For those of you who might not know how to do it, in the bottom corner of the lobby map, there's a little globe. You click on that, and it'll say the 4 servers. I think it says Americas, Europe. I think China has its own, and Asia has its own. So, looking at our map here, kind of open. Rock break. Probably going to end up breaking a rock here and sending them out so we can clean up our passes over here. 4% seed, so we're going to have some time to income. Looking at the waves. Okay, so supply depots are cheap. 26 is really, really, really cheap, actually. I mean, anything below that, you're just kind of getting greedy. So 28 supply is irrelevant. You can consider that to be as much supply as you could possibly want with the supply depots. Being that you're going to have 4 passes into 1, hitting the TP, out to 2 would be my 3rd, and then back in to finish. There's going to be 4 passes here. You're going to want to hit the 1.2 minerals all 4 times. Well, maybe I won't. Chaos decides he doesn't want to play, or his computer's had enough today. It can be really frustrating if your computer decides to take a poo on you in the middle of a game, especially this early. I don't think I've ever talked about the rating system outside of general how I read it as far as how much skill somebody has. But you wager essentially up to 300 points a game. So the higher if I'm playing against just Chaos, let's say, I don't know what my rating is at the moment, but I'm going to assume let's just say his is 5,000 and mine is 10,000. If he beats me, he gains probably 250 points. If I beat him, I gain 50. So there's a swing there of 300 some way. How it is balanced, whoever has the highest rating is going to be balanced more. So if I look here, see, I have 10,000 and nobody else is above 5. So there are 7 people left in the game. 7 times 300 points would be 2,100. So if I subtract 2,100 from this, I would only win 32 points. Let's come down here to Kappenstarjat. So I'm not sure how in North you're supposed to say that. Looks like these 3 people, it's their first game. Do 2,100 minus 400, and they would earn 1,701 if they were to win this game. Even, what has Zed got here? Is that 642 if you were able to win? So the higher your rating, the more points you're wagering relative to the other people. So if there was another person who had a 10,000 rating, the 2 of us would be wagering roughly 150 against each other. So Zed, or Chaos, who just left the game there, thankfully his rating wasn't very high to begin with, that he would have lost. Like right now, that's the score. If I lose right now, I would lose 2,000 points. So, if you're having internet issues and your game disconnects this early, you lose a crud load of points. And when you get, up to 10,000, if you have anything, if you play a dumb game, you're going to lose 500 or 600 pretty easily. If you take second place, you're probably still going to lose 100 or two, depending on who beats you. So it is hard to maintain a score that high. You have to either win or take second every game. And then when you don't win, or when you don't take second, then you're going to need a winning streak to get it back fairly quickly. I think I'm going to take this rock break pretty early, just so I can get that minerals out of the way. I think I'll go to income and then go get it. 4%, so again, we have time. Start thinking about where I want to build. I'm not quite sure yet. The 50, but you have these stupid no builds. That's only a plus 20, 50. So there's a 90 here, but that's going to be a mess to maze, actually. So imagine I have a tower here. It looks like you can only get one of them on there, because that is too high, I think. Yeah, so I've lost the range, but plus 20 isn't that big of a deal. It looks like you can get just two of them on there. Maybe if this I was talking about yesterday about tower placement. Mess around with it a little bit sometimes. So here I got 3 of them on there. So that would have been better. But where do I go with my towers? I think I'm going to... What's range at? Range is really cheap too. So I'm going to take this. And I'm going to come... Probably going to have to wall this off. Ooh, I don't know how to do that. It's going to be a mess. So just trying to think ahead as to where the maze is going to go. I'm pretty sure I'm doing a rock breakout this way, capping this off here, forcing the guys this way so that I can get 4 passes on the mineral. The rock break will pay for itself, picking up 2 extra mineral passes every wave, so I'm not too worried about the cost. Speaking of cost, I'm selling those towers in hopes I could get to that second income, but not quite. And it's a little too early for it to... What are those, 11 each? I would have needed 8. Shoot. Had I sold those towers, I would have gotten there. Oh, no, I still would have missed. I would have been at 54. Still would have missed either way. Start thinking ahead toward towers. Merge has to be played like a boss. So it starts out with 10, but as you kill him, his life gets added to the one next to him. So if you kill the first one, now suddenly the second one has 700 hit points. It doesn't work exactly like that, but you get the idea. So eventually, they're all 10 of them going to be stacked into one big guy. So if I have a tower like Bounce, it'll be really good to start, but as soon as I get it down to 1 ling or maybe 2 lings that are spaced out, then Bounce isn't going to work anymore, so Bounce will get me killed on that wave. Because the maze is going to end up being really long. Zed, I'm not sure what Zed's doing here. He's deciding to just go for it and have himself a grand old time, apparently. So I'm going to start mazing a little bit here. I guess I'm not going to be able to take the rock break right away. This maze is just hot dog poo at the moment. So right now I'm going to get, 2 passes? That's not cool. Let's go take a look at our HD. Going to be a strong contender because charge isn't going to work. You're going to be killing your tower way over here. Charge. Well, I guess you could make your maze long enough later to benefit. So maybe the second one would be okay. Trigger is definitely out though. There's no way way you're going to stay triggered. And angle, I'm too centered in the map, I think. Min range struggles with a boss because I'm not sure if I've ever shown it, but it has, pretend this is min range. It has an inner loop and an outer loop. The inner loop would be a little bit closer, it'd be right about here. Then the outer loop would be where the white ring is. But anything between these two lines, it'll shoot. Anything inside or outside of the double lines, it wouldn't be able to target. I'm not sure what Zed is doing. He's just going crazy for the sake of going crazy, I think. I guess I'm just going to go trying to at least get 3 passes here. I'm not quite sure how to do. So you play around with the maze a little bit, trying to figure out. I would like these two connected, but I can't curve around finish. So there really isn't anything to do. I guess I have to overlap these a little bit. And I need to be taking damage because discharge would be an interesting option. The downside discharge, it starts out super fast and after 20 seconds starts shooting slow. It does do a lot of damage, and its range is pretty small, so it would be like, I don't know, maybe to here. And you can see the rock and the no build is going to mess that up pretty badly. But the problem with the discharge, especially on this particular map, is late game. I'm expecting to get to those supply depots where I'm going to be able to maze for a long, long time. That should swing the advantage to anything other than discharge. It'll be really good on the air if you can get to air close enough. And I'm starting to think that's what Zed did. He's probably looking at it going, I've got low supply, I'm going to take the discharge. But I just think it's a mistake. I don't think you want to do that. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but that's at least how I am looking at the game. And as you could, if you've watched the other videos, I think game 3, certainly I am not infallible. The old saying, nothing humbles like entropy. So this maze isn't working yet at all as far as doing anything I want it to do. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't get the TP where I want it. I can't get the mazes where I want it. I'm thinking he definitely has discharge. And I'm not even sure how he would get over there right now. So let's see. This is going to get 3 passes at least. And notice I can't get around this corner, so I'm going to sell everything over here and shift it a half tower down. Now notice I can clear the corner. Play in the slow as much as possible. Take a look at my range. Okay, so I think we were talking about, on the game I lost, spent quite a bit of time talking about the idea of the head of the snake and the tail of the snake. So think about the guys running. I don't need to keep them all in range of my tower. I just need to keep one of them in range of my tower. So that's what I'm doing right now. If he does have discharge, close sling should be a pretty big advantage for him. He should do well there. I'm just forcing them more into the slow. And dump the rest of this into. I'm going to try and target the closer ones. Yeah, I think that's definitely well, maybe not. So I don't get another close pass, unfortunately. My TP is all sorts of messed up. How am I going to close off the TP? As my maze is right now, I can't go here. So I would have to rework this area. If you hear the clicking, that's me right-clicking, and that is called micromanaging, telling the tower to shoot that particular guy. That could be explained by income, or it could be discharge. So I'm not sure exactly what the difference is there yet. It looks like, ZI and Citri. So Citri had 4,000. So the three of us seem to be best already. I'm not sure if anybody who else is going to join us as far as doing solid damage here. So I'm not going to income for a while. These range ups are going to become important later. I would love to be able to reach the other side of this rock, but it's going to take 3 or 4 damage ups at least. But look at them, they're all cheap. They're 60, what is that, $400 to reach that side, and that would open up a whole bunch more maze. So I'm going to go up to 25-ish, because it's 4%, and pour the rest into speed. Oh. He might have a... Oh, that looks like... He's doing more damage, but is it because he has more speed, or is it because he has the discharge tower? Can't read. So I lost 10 lives there, because I'm... Again, I would like to say he has discharge, but I don't know that. It's one or the other, I think. If he does have discharge and he doesn't kill me, it's an easy late game victory with HD, because you just can't expand your maze enough. Because your tower is going to get tired as the discharge slows down after 20 seconds. It's the opposite of charge. And it's going to be constantly tired in a long maze. And there are a lot of lanes, so it's going to be hard to send all 10 of them out of range. If you notice, I passed him there in damage just for a little bit. And then he's catching right back up. So if I pass him on damage, that's making me think that I'm going to say he has discharge. Am I super confident? Probably not. I'm thinking like 60-40 chance that he does have discharge versus HD. Another reason, I think people get hung up on this. The tower price is so cheap, 71. Try not to let your tower price influence your decision. If a tower is clearly going to be better than other towers, if it's 400 minerals, that really isn't that big of a deal. You should save up for it. I mean, you should maybe build a base tower with 25 damage, 25 speed, until you can get what you need out of it. Until you can get your 400 minerals at one wave where you need it. Where can we go? Ugh. Alright, who's taking forever here? I think it's stoned. So I'm looking at trying to build up this way a little bit. So remember, I don't need to keep all 10 in line. So if I come kind of up here, shoot, that's... So I'm noticing if I could sell these and just connect to the rocks and then close off this, I can probably save some towers. I might have to come back and rebuild it later, but right now it would be better. These are interesting runners, Hulklings. You want to have your TP so touching when they are blue, because when they turn green, they have 5 times the hit points, and they're still only worth 1 kill. So it's a huge advantage if you can get your extra pass when they're smaller. So he did a lot of extra damage there. How much is the 1x1? 36. Close, but I lost 9 lives. Holy cow. That doesn't make... I mean, he must have... That's hard to imagine what's going on there. Okay, well, like I was saying, let's try this. Those 3 close that off. These 2 can go here. And now this can be sold off. And I need a 1x1. So remember, the supply cap is only a number, shall we say. You can think of the matrix. There are rules that can be bent. Some can be broken. Well, supply limit is one of those. So as you kill them, they become worth different amounts. If I killed that second one there, he'd probably be worth 1 kill. If I kill that front one, he might be 4 or 5. So if I look at him, he's got a lot of health. What has he got? 2,600, 1,100, and 16, but he's almost dead. So I want to make sure I do kill that last one. So I'm just going to target him to make sure I get him. And just missed on that guy. So that probably 4 or 5. That's probably the difference in lives there. Oh's wells. We're not going to get, at the rate we're going, we're not going to get into the ability to extend the maze to take advantage of the range that we took. Trying to envision how I can get this inside and get the passes I want. Then I could potentially get the 4 that I need, even if I'm not getting the mineral passes. So the next wave is air. I'm going to sell the extra supply depot and the 1x1, make sure I get all the money I can possibly get. Maybe my range is starting to pay off. Not sure what's going on there. Because I would expect that none of us have another close pass. I think we're all built in that same spot. All right. Take 2 range ups. So see, I'm touching the rocks now. It's going to be another 2 or more to get up and over. So what I'm trying to do is get enough range to cancel out the speed that I think Zed has. His last wave, he got 10 extra kills here, and I just can't afford to let that happen. I'm getting too low on lives, so I'm going to do everything I can do here. I'll sell off 2 towers to get my supply to 25 so I can get to the max supply. We get to the max towers. Sorry, the max damage. As much damage as I can get on my tower as I can possibly get at the moment. So let's take a look. So what do we have? 3. So I think I'm doing better. So has he incomed? Has he taken the rock break? No idea. The rock break's going to be a mess anyways. Let's see, go this way. Can I get... No, can't quite get over those rocks. What if I push these like that? So now I could get an extra pass right here if they run this way, but it's not going to help me on 1. Ah! I miss playing around in the slow zone. Not paying attention to what I'm doing. Thinking too much over here. Yeah, these are... Okay, so if let's say I break this rock here, I can come up here and connect to the wall, force this up, so when they get to 1, I think that's the way to do it. That looks like the winning idea there, or at least I'm not getting the minerals, but I am getting a whole nother pass out of it. I'm going to sell all this junk over here. This junk has got to come up here, even if it takes several supply depots. They are cheap. Don't worry about the pass is worth more than that. So now think about this. They run through. It was small. Remember we talked about that. They're going to run through small, touch the TP, still small, and run all the way back through again, small. Assuming I don't do something stupid and leave a giant gap. And take that, take that. I'm just stretching it out. And this is a wave where I'm probably going to gain 30 or 40 lives. And he's going to be like, what the hell just happened? Because that rock break is a little bit weird. So notice I've got, what is that, 30 or 40 already? Almost 33, 32. He's not doing many kills, means his are hulked out probably. And they're green with 5 times the life. $39. So that rock break was definitely well worth it. Take a look at my range. So think about maybe I could, I can stretch this out here, but it's not going to do me much good on the next particular wave. And I could go like here and shove them out that way, but that's another rock break, and it's 450 to pick up the mineral passes, which is just not worth it at this point. If it was a larger mineral, like 2, 2.5, or something even above that, I think I've seen as high as 4 or something, then you would have to do it, because you're just giving away too much money late game like this. Let's go take a look at what Citri had. Hey, that kind of looks familiar, doesn't it? Okay, but let's think that... So he took the rock break here. What is he trying to do? So he goes there, does hit the TP, gets back. So kind of the same idea, just done it differently. And this maze doesn't get used to the TP, but it's still... That's not too bad. I like that. It might be a little bit easier than what I've done. And it's saving all these towers, so that has a benefit too. So I like what Citry did there was good stuff. And we're talking about stretching that out. I do want to rework this area here, because what I'm thinking of is pushing them this way, like that. Right now I can't do it, because this needs to be redone. I would have to think about that and how to tweak that to make that work right. And then I can also come this way here and make another there, but I don't think I can reach. I would need to be able to reach here to make it worth my while, which I can't have. So I'm going to do 61, 61. Start thinking about that second tower. Second tower is not going to be it's not going to be as good because it's not on the 20 range. That 20 range is the difference between those two lines. It's not make or break. It doesn't make your tower completely worthless. It's still going to be pretty good. So Citry, he probably had better close passes because they were going to come back through here as they were coming this way. So that was good. I like that. Sometimes when other people die, you can look at their map and you can learn something and go, oh, well, I can tweak my map to make that work. So remember how we lost the 20, but my tower is a whole tower position up. So I reach almost the exact length as the other one. And the general rule, if you are winning or hanging close, do not change ideas. I guess the exception to that is if I could get late game where I had so much range that maybe a charge could work. But it would be even later than this. My maze would have to be strung out farther. I would have to be able to reach over here. So there's a lot of stuff at play as to why I can't do it yet. So let me see if I can't figure this mess out. So if I come, don't do that anymore. So now this is just a total disaster. So I got it to work, but it's a mess. Just because I'm so cramped in here, it's hard to get that working the way you would like it to. So I'm actually going to get rid of this. I don't like that. I don't like all these 1x1s here. One of them, the old idea of don't use 1x1s if you don't have to, so I'm breaking my own cardinal rule. And there are exceptions to the rule, obviously. If I don't have to break it, let's not do it. Okay, so I could run, let's say, this way. That looks like a good extension. I'm not going to get it on the way to one, or the TP, I guess. I could break the rock and stretch out this way a little bit more in the slow. But I'm going to go right here. It's not going to help me on the merge, but it will help me everywhere else. So something like this. And diagonals are better than straight lines. Pythagorean theorem. It's diagonal in the speed, which is not ideal, but what are you going to do? You got to pay attention and not create a massive hole in your map. That's what you're going to do. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to get done here? Remember, those ranges are cheap. Hey, look at that. I can reach over the rocks now. That opens up potential maze. And if you got really silly with it, you could push this way and pick up the path there. That would involve a lot. It looks like I can actually save towers. So let's take a look. We got 5. Yeah, I can do that in 4. So, what I mean, going this way here. Looks like it's perfectly spaced out for 4 too. See if he'll say. Sometimes people will tell you, sometimes they prefer to keep it a secret if they think you're going to take the same second tower or something. So notice there my tail got away just as the head came back in. So I've stretched that out almost exactly as far as I wanted, or as far as I need. And he's done a better job extending. Nice work over there. So I saved a tower there. Man, he's got extension for days over there. He never did comment on the tower. That isn't really rude or anything. He definitely doesn't have to give his maze away if he's not comfortable. I'm going to straighten this out, actually. This isn't, it's not needed on this particular wave. I want to tweak how that works. I'm going to cover this, the 1x1 here, and then build this way, and that should leave me enough to push them down and back. In my range, I think I can hit here now. If not, the range ups are cheap. He might not have discharge, because his tower would really be struggling at that wavelength. He's doing a lot of shooting. But then again, you do get all this cooldown time, and you could waste time over here by just kind of making him run around over here for 4 or 5 seconds. And if it's 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, that means your discharge is completely cooled off when it gets back. I do need this to be a little bit farther, though. So it's kind of similar to what I had, but it's not. I continued it diagonally. Now it's straighter, so it is a little shorter. But the reason I'm doing that, stop telling me I'm blocking. It's not blocking. That's still open. See? Stop pretending to be dumb. But now I gotta make sure that I get here. And can my towers hit that? Yes. That one can hit it too. I would like one more range. And he's doing a really good job of extending. Wow. Now I'm going to get more close passes. He's extending. I'm extending. Who's going to have the better extensions? Hopefully we do. To quote Bull Durham, winning is better than losing. Nobody? Bull Durham fans? No? Well, fine. I want to be targeting the one that's close. Get the bonus out of it. Let's take a look. There goes the head. Tail clears, and he comes back in. That's beautiful. This could be stretched out a little bit farther, but I can't make it happen because the rocks are a mess over there. Remember, target the close one. So that's it. If you hear the mouse clicking, that's what I'm doing. Telling him, hey, shoot the one that's close to me for the bonus damage. I guess. mean, if that was one spot lower, I could push this over and not use a 1x1, but the way it is, I have to use it. And I can actually, instead of coming back here and coming there, I can actually push around the rock and with a couple 1x1s avoid the TP and come back in. Or I could just say forget it and hit the TP and give up a little bit of length. So he's still doing damage, so that means that he's, see how he stopped doing damage? That means he's doing that loop up there, or wherever he built his escape road, shall we say. Almost got the second tower maxed. And that third one is this tower here, but I think it's got to come down just a little bit. So I'm going to put it up as high as I can to potentially use this area. What do I got? So I can actually use that, but I'm only going to get to 2 and back. I'm only getting 2 passes. Here I'm going to get 4. Over here I'm getting 3 because I don't get it from start. So I'm going to put as much maze in between start and 1 as you can get, because that's all going to be past extra times compared to everything else. You want that TP, you know, notice there is no maze back here. There's no towers you're running through. I wonder if he took min range and then his tower's just really struggling there. So if I go there, GG. Let's go take a look. What has he done? HD. So he had the right first one. There, take a look. He's got 4 ranges as well. 1 life. He's got almost the same thing. I just have a few more. So he took a second rock break down here. So that's 400 minerals he wasted, potentially. I mean, whether you do it there or kind of the way I've done it, you're not picking up a whole lot. I mean, you're going around this 4 times instead of 3 times. To pick up that, it costs you 454 minerals. So not a huge gain there. That's why I chose to do it the way I did. Thinking much later in the game, this tower does go there. I don't think it can go up, because I'm only 40 damage and I want the 90. Down here, I believe, is 90, but I can't reach over the rocks anymore, so that is better. So my maze would have continued something like this. Suppose we could have even done something like that. Okay, starting to get the idea of where to go. I guess I could have blown a rock over here and then close this off and kind of pick this up for, you know, let's say this is a rock right here. So I'd put 1 tower right in the middle to kind of create an out and an in, or an in and out, depending on which way you're going. So you can come over here, run around a little bit, send them out of range, let them come back, potentially do it again. But that trick wasn't needed this particular game. But I have stretched out the maze about as far as I could go here. So hopefully you learned something. Let us know what you're thinking, what you want talked about. If you have questions or whatever, or ask why. Hopefully I'm explaining why I'm doing what I'm doing well enough to avoid some of the questions, I guess. But we hope to see you in the next lobby. Take care.